Hello, and welcome back to Wyoming Watch, the Wyoming Tribune Eagle's weekly podcast. I'm Ivy Secrest, your crime and public safety reporter. Recently, the Laramie County Library has expanded their programs with the intent of improving local access to books and other library services. This includes new rural access programs, telehealth access, and the new mobile library that's set to begin serving the public later this month. Today I'm here with Laramie County Library Executive Director Antonia Gaona and Marketing and Communications Manager Joelle Ashley to talk about recent expansions to access to library services. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for inviting us.
So I think the first thing I really want to talk about is you guys are launching a mobile library at the end of this month. Mm-hmm. And it's been anticipated, it's been pushed back. For those who haven't been anticipating it, aren't keeping up with library news, what is the mobile library?
Our mobile library really is a library on wheels. So we hope to bring all the services you can expect in a small branch to people across our county on wheels. So everything from books to events and programs to STEAM activities and events to resume workshops to skill building, community gathering opportunities, all of those types of things will be brought to you on four wheels with the expertise of our amazing staff.
And when you say community events, what do you guys envision that looking like?
Sure. So we'll be joining up with the folks out at LCCC this summer during the free lunch program to meet up with families and students as they go to collect food and hand out things such as literacy building skills and activities and book kits to take home crafts. All of that kind of stuff helps to bring together communities and build early literacy skills. Those are the types of events. We also will be stopping regularly at the senior center, and we do book clubs and book talks and bring books to them and bring their holds to them. Those are the starting of our kinds of events, but we will have much more to come.
You will also see the mobile library out at the schools a lot at the end of the school year, and then at the beginning they do things like popsicle parties to celebrate summer reading. Their expanded schedule will start this summer where they will actually be out at the Air Force Base. They're going to be in the parking lot at Town and Country Supermarket Liquors, so you'll see lots more activity and just see the mobile library around town more as well.
So a big piece of those purposeful stops is to go to parts of the community that don't have readily, easily available access to one of our physical locations, right? They may have barriers to transportation. It may be that parents work two jobs and can't bring their kids to a physical location. It may be that they're just not sure about library services and don't know what we offer at one of our libraries. So we come to them and show them what we can do and what kinds of services and activities and materials that we can offer, including audio, visual, of course, printed books, all of those types of things. And we help to build literacy skills. We help to build connection not only with staff, with your neighbors and friends, and all of this builds print awareness and literacy skills. And then we also will be offering in the future other types of things like job readiness, workforce skills. How do you build your resume? How do you look for jobs online? How do you apply for things like veteran benefits? All of those types of things. And then just fun things like maybe little STEM crafts, like how do you teach something that will help little kids build skills in the areas of engineering and math and art. So these are kinds of things that our new mobile library is built for. We've got some surfaces for them to work on. We've got a bunch of seating areas. We've got some LCD screens to show them instruction videos and teach them about knitting and crafting and all of that kind of stuff. We've got the ability to put a big projector on the side of our mobile library and show maybe a film in the park. We've got great audio visual equipment. It really is a full-scale branch on wheels. And so that's why it's so exciting for our community to be rolling this out onto the streets.
What was the motivation to put something that expansive out into the community? Have you guys had something like this before? What was the draw to either bring it back or introduce this?
It really is the community members themselves. Our bookmobile has been around for decades, and it is well loved and well cherished and valued. And we realized that it was nearing the end of its life. It wasn't very fuel efficient. We had a lot of repairs and a lot of restrictions on the way we were able to use our old bookmobile. And so we took it to the voters on the last sixpenny ballot and said we'd like to be able to expand our capabilities of serving the community, and they voted yes on it. And that type of community support and backing to an initiative like this just shows us that not only is it valued and cherished, but that they're looking to see this kind of service expand. And so we're bringing them what they want.
Joelle, do you have anything to add?
I would say that part of the beauty of this new vehicle is it really was built for expansion. So we were able to add in some new things, like it's a Wi-Fi access point now for anybody. So as it goes out onto the road, people can just come and access free Wi-Fi like you do at the library. You still have the ability to place a hold and pick it up there, but it really is just built with this idea that the sky's the limit. And there are so many things that we can add, that we can build in, that we now have the proper infrastructure to do that as we evolve with our community.
And I think the exciting part for us will also be helping to upskill and train our staff to serve the community in new ways. So what other types of technology, what other types of classes and workshops can we bring out to the community with this mobile library? So we'll be working on that. And all of those types of offerings and services will be guided by our strategic plan, which we finalized just in the last 12 months. We finalized and adopted a strategic plan last August that really guides the programs and services that we'll be offering through our mobile library. And our staff, our outreach and engagement division, is newly developing, newly growing, looking to define and refine what their goals and their skills will be. But they're the ones who are kind of really going to be manning this mobile library, championing it, and getting out on the road. So they're training right now. They're learning how to drive the mobile library. They're defining how they want to outfit it, what kind of populations they want to serve, and where they'll go from here. So we have a beloved and very talented bookmobile coordinator, Susan Parkins, who has been manning the bookmobile for over 20 years. And she is bringing into her fold a bunch of staff who are not as well-versed to it as she is, but they're full of excitement and anticipation for what the future possibilities hold. So we're just really excited for teaming up with the community, and that will take listening and identifying what the needs and the gaps in our community are, and what kind of skills they need us to help them build, and what kinds of services they're really seeking. So a lot of that will be, what do we see over this summer? What do we hear from people about what kinds of materials they want access to, what types of services and programs they want access to, and what kind of skill building they need. And we're set up now as an organization to really pivot and be flexible and adaptable to start providing those whenever we see what they are.
Along those lines, I know this isn't the only way that you guys are trying to reach the community more, expand access to library materials, services. Tell me a little bit about some of these self-service options that have recently become available to the people of Laramie County.
So our Rural Services Expansion Project, which was funded through a grant through the Wyoming State Library, we're right in the thick of that, and it is an incredibly exciting initiative. So it's all about breaking barriers to access. We've heard through a lot of people in particularly the eastern part of our county that they don't use the library, and it's not because they don't value the library. It's often because they have a lot of barriers to getting there. The hours of operation didn't work for them. The location may not work for them. Just their lifestyle doesn't lend itself to using the library very easily. So it's all about exploring how we can increase their ability to access library services. We know in a rural community, people are used to driving, right? We know that often, though, things get in their way, whether it's life obligations, dropping kids off to school, commuting from these bedroom communities to Cheyenne. It's all of those kinds of things. It may also be barriers to transportation. So we're bridging that gap by bringing the library to the people or making it more customizable for them. So what that might look like is the mobile library was one thing that we just discussed. We've also just activated self-service libraries. So both our Burns and Pine Bluffs locations now can be accessed anytime between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. if you register your library card. So that's regardless of whether they're staffed or not. if you register your library card, you can go and scan it and access those libraries and utilize any of the services that you would use during our regular operating hours. So you can use the public computers, you can pick up your holds, you can check things out, you can use the meeting room spaces, you can browse the collection, you can do all kinds of things. Use the internet, the Wi-Fi, just have a safe and quiet place to sit down, grab a cup of coffee, read the paper, wait for your kids who might be in early morning activities and events at school, all types of things. And we have already had over 80 people sign up for this service, which in the rural communities is a pretty big percentage of the population. And we have heard life-changing stories from them. So people who haven't used the library in years are coming back just because of this service. They've told us that they haven't used the library because the operating hours didn't work for them, and they were never able to get to the library before and after they commuted to work, or before and after they took care of their children, or something like that. And so these self-service hours are just really opening the doors, literally, for these people to come in and use library services.
I think another thing that it does that really does expand access is it's a very small staff at both of those branch libraries. And for the very first time, the staff in Pine Bluffs were able to turn this library to self-service. She got to go out and do really targeted outreach about the Summer Reading Challenge. And she had families that she's never had in the library who came after to get library cards. She has these kids now who are excited and are showing up to programming because this has helped her get out into her community and do some of that outreach and engagement that she was never able to do before because she had to be the only person at the library, which is huge.
Yeah. We have these communities in Burns and Pine Bluffs that know our staff members by name. They know their smiling faces, and be able to have them get out from behind the desk and out into the community is a big deal. And we have a major priority on outreach and engagement with our community members outside of our library walls, and these small staff members wouldn't be able to do that if it weren't for this type of technology. When I first got here, I also noticed that these libraries were routinely closing, whether it was because our rural staff members were snowed in to their driveways, or because they were out sick, or because, God forbid, they have to take a vacation day. We don't really have a great pool of substitutes out in the rural branches to be able to cover for them. And in these communities, those branches are like the lifeline for people. Often they're the only community center, the only place for people to go and just be without having to pay or buy anything, or it's the only public space. And so if we have to close, they don't have anywhere else to go. And so this self-service feature allows us to stay open no matter what. And that's a really big boon for these communities.
I mean, this sounds great, right? You can go in whenever you want to. Within the hours of 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., you can access books that otherwise, if they're closed, you're out of luck. For those that might be a little more on the cynical side and hesitant to just let community members kind of roam in unsupervised, so to speak, what are the steps in place to kind of hold community members accountable to the standards of conduct in the library?
Yeah. So we have very specific library rules in place that have been vetted by our community and approved by our board of directors. We also have, obviously, technology and security precautions in place at both of these branches. And when you register and apply to be a user of self-service libraries, you have to agree to all of these terms of use. Mm-hmm. And if you break them, you no longer have that privilege. And I have to tell you, in these communities, these people love these libraries. They take such great pride and care and ownership over these branches that I really don't have any concern about that, because they own these buildings like they own their own homes. These branches are a pillar of strength and pride and resilience of these local towns, and they love them. So they take very good care of them. We have some new things coming up that people don't know about yet. So what you'll see coming down the pike soon, in addition to self-service libraries, is our lending machines. So what this looks like is kind of what you might consider like a vending machine for library materials. So this is meant to, again, bridge the gap between where a resident might live and an actual physical library location. So we're looking to partner with, a private owner, a nonprofit, or some sort of other entity where we can put these things, and where you would go where you're already going, whether it might be to get groceries or to drop off your kids. And in the next case, the one coming up very soon, is the Laramie County Senior Center. Mm-hmm. So at the Senior Center, there will be a lending machine. You can go and you can scan your card, and it will open up, and you can pick from a variety of library materials to check out. And so it'll be a kind of a little mini library location. You'll also be able to go return library materials there. So you'll be able to check things in and check things out like it were a mini little Laramie County Library location. And it won't only be open to Senior Center clientele. It'll be open to all Laramie County residents. So that's one. We will also be opening up a second one at a yet to be determined location, but we're looking for potential community partnerships in that right now. In addition to that, you'll be seeing pop up around our county hold pickup lockers. So similar to what you might see around the metro area, around the Front Range, like an Amazon locker, where you can go and request things to be sent there for you. This works the same way. You can request library materials be sent there for you. And again, the intention there is that we bridge the gap for our rural users. So if you might have to drive 30 minutes to get to the Cheyenne location, let's put one of these hold pickup lockers that's maybe 10 minutes from your house. So you can have something sent there, go there on your way to pick up the kids from school, on the way to the grocery store, pick the things up, return materials there, and then that's the way that you can access library materials and make things more convenient for you. So those things will be coming up and coming online all here within the next 6 to 9 months. Mm-hmm. So it's all about accessing library services and materials where you already go and making it as convenient as possible. Because for us, it's around making library services welcoming, allowing you to use libraries in an independent, accessible, and customizable way. So that's our rural services expansion project.
I'm curious, one of the things you mentioned earlier when we were talking about the mobile library, and has kind of been a theme throughout all these other access points, is not only, building that space for community, but also literacy, and like coming back to these written materials that libraries house. I'm curious, what role do you think the library plays in local literacy and access to reading material?
It's definitely a partnership. I think there are a lot of agencies and entities within our community that contribute to and are a part of encouraging and inspiring literacy of all ages. For us, we absolutely are an entity that serves people from cradle to grave. And we also are an entity that sees our mission as lifelong learning and curiosity. So we have programs that are targeted towards early childhood literacy, and we are also working on igniting programs towards adult literacy skills. So we really see ourselves as targeting all ages, all demographics, and all groups. I think that is the purpose and the beauty of a public library, as opposed to a public school or any other agency that's working at building literacy skills.
Just that lifelong access that it is, like at school at some point you'll graduate and move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The library's there the whole time. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
And it's free and open access, right? You don't have to be part of a formal schooling program to be part of the public library. You don't have to pay or subscribe to anything to be part of the public library. And that's what's special about, the oldest democratic and most open institution in the United States.
Something I think is really special about the library, too, is we're embracing technology in different ways for people to learn and grow and have that access to information. We will always have traditional print materials and books. That's one way. But if you think about the teen zone that we've recently revamped, it's really about designing it in a way that works better for people at that phase of their life, right? So with the maker space, with the video games, with some of the different ways that they learn. We have so much access to electronic materials for people who are interested in that and just all the different things. So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. It's really about meeting people where they are, both physically and just preference and learning style and all of those different things.
The way I like to think of it is it's literacy of all kinds, right? There's not only a print literacy component of it. We at the public library focus on literacy of all kinds. That may be print literacy, it may be health and wellness literacy, it may be financial literacy, it may be business literacy. Those are all the types of literacies that we help our constituents with. Another way we're improving the quality of life of the types of people that we serve in Eastern Laramie County, we'll be introducing telehealth booths. This allows people who don't have readily available access to seeing healthcare providers. They may not have high-speed internet at home. They can go into their local branch, access a telehealth booth with the right technology, all of the online meeting capabilities, a privacy and confidentiality component. They can meet with their healthcare provider. They can get diagnosed there in a branch that may be 5 minutes away from their home versus having to drive 45 minutes to a healthcare provider. So it's all about enhancing the quality of your life. And to me, that is literacy in all ways. And the way that I think we think about improving our services is just how do we improve access to all of these ways that people can access public spaces, access public materials, access public resources. So we'll continue to work on that, whether it is improving access to our meeting spaces, which is one of our most readily available and most used resources. Now you can book those things through the convenience of your cell phone, through our LibCal online meeting room reservation technology, or helping people access local democratic processes through our voter informed series. So do you see what I'm talking about? It's about kind of like building the person as a whole.
Right. Access to information.
Yeah.
We were talking about democracy. We're talking about, literacy moving forward and things. I do think your upcoming TED series is a pretty great example of that. Would you mind telling our listeners a bit about TED Democracy Live?
So this is a really special event that's coming up in June. It'll be on Saturday, June 13th. And this is TED Talks. TED Talks, they, in association with Pew Charitable Trust, they are going to be live streaming a whole series of TED Talks that are part of the semi-quincentennial, so our 250th birthday as a nation. They were very selective about who they chose for this, and we happen to be the library in Wyoming where they chose to live stream these. So all day long we'll be live streaming these wonderful TED Democracy Live talks, and we'll have tons more information that we put out into the world. It's a really wonderful thing. It's going to be over 15 never-before-seen TED Talks that are really focused on democracy and helping us just kind of celebrate the 250th birthday of our nation.
Are there any other events that people should be aware of coming up in May and June that really exemplify this expansion of access?
Well, one thing we definitely want to give a plug in for is our library card art contest. So this is the second time we've done this. Second annual library card art contest will be opening in May. May 18th, the contest opens, and this is for all ages. Again, artists of all media and formats can enter, and the winners of the 4 categories can get their unique and personal art added to something as powerful as a library card. Those cards will be available in our library for the next year until the contest opens again. So we welcome everybody to be part of that. Our foundation, the Laramie County Library Foundation, also has some incredibly awesome and amazing events coming up this summer. So they're going to start off big with Lucha Libre event. It's going to be SmackDown amazing fun. We are going to have luchador wrestlers in our parking lot with like a community-wide celebration of just fun and engagement. Everybody is welcome to come see these like regionally acclaimed wrestlers and get their picture taken with them and get their face painted and get some cotton candy, and we'll have food trucks and the whole 9 yards. So that'll be amazing and fun.
And of course, summer reading is coming up, right? So June 1st is when Summer Reading Challenge always happens. We're really excited this year because our theme is Unearth a Story. So lots of dinosaurs running around the library from time to time. That goes through August 15th, and that's a huge annual program that's for people of all ages to get together over the summer and read together. We also, on June 6th, if anybody wants to come and take a tour of the new mobile library, we have a launch party happening. So it'll be out at our library in Cheyenne starting at 10 a.m. and you'll be able to come. There's face painting. I think there might be a cake shaped like the mobile library, but you can definitely take tours and check out the new space as well.
So, and then in July, we have something really exciting that we'll be introducing to our community. For the first time ever, we'll be introducing a library magazine. So, Off the Shelf, the new library magazine is coming. And really, this is intended to make accessing library services easier for all of our residents by raising awareness of library and its services, and by helping to showcase all that the library does and all that is available, particularly to people who may not know about what the library can offer them. Really, it's around expanding our opportunity for outreach and reaching out to the pockets of our community who don't typically interface with the library right now, because the way that we reach people right now is you have to come in really to know about our events and our programs. But Off the Shelf magazine will go far and wide into our county and be available in digital format as well. So we're incredibly excited about this new tool for letting people know about what's available to them through their local county library.
Yep, the first issue will hit the stands on July 1st, so there will be a lot of information going out and an opportunity to subscribe in advance if you want it delivered right to your inbox.
Is there anything else you'd want the public to know?
I think I always tell people, if you haven't been in a little while, come back, check us out, because there's probably something new that we forgot to mention that you're going to find when you come in.
And I would also just mention that your library is always evolving. And it really is your library. And so if you have feedback, if you have suggestions, if you have requests, tell us, because we're an evolving library, and libraries are meant to change and to be flexible and movable along with the changes of their community. And so talk to us. Our doors are always open. We're a very friendly and exciting place to be. And so, like Joelle said, if you haven't been in for a while and you have one impression and one, kind of assumption about what the public library used to be, I invite you to come back in and build a new one.
Fantastic. Well, thank you both for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Now, here's Taylor Staples, our arts and entertainment reporter, here to give us a roundup of some of the upcoming events in the area this week.
Today, May 8th, is the 21st Annual Cheyenne Day of Giving from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Kiwanis Community House in Lyons Park. Then, there are 2 lunch and learns from noon to 1 p.m. at the library. One is for the Cheyenne Chamber Singers in the Willow Room, and the other is for CLTP's upcoming production of Legally Blonde in the Cottonwood Room. Also, tonight is the Second Friday Art Walk from 5 to 8 p.m. in downtown Cheyenne, as well as a chamber music concert called Forgotten Romantics at 7 p.m. at St. Mark's Episcopal Church, and the show Another Evening of One Acts You May or May Not Enjoy at 7 p.m. at the LCCC Playhouse Building. And finally, tonight is the Last Things for the Memories concert featuring rapper Chameleonaire at 7:30 p.m. at the Cheyenne Civic Center. On Saturday, May 9th, the Cheyenne Regional Medical Center has their Spring into Brain Health Symposium from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Blue Community Events Center, and there are 3 craft shows and markets. One is the 14th Annual Gilchrist Spring Market from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Gilchrist Elementary School. Another is the Craft and Flea Market Show from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at VFW 1881. And the other is the Ladies of the Shrine Mother's Day Craft and Vendor Show from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Cheyenne Ice and Events Center. Then there's the Winston Friends May Day Parade Festival from noon to 6 p.m. in the Beach Please and Novus Glass parking lot, and a Shanghai Doom concert at 6:30 p.m. at the Lincoln Cheyenne. Also later, the 35 Years with the Cheyenne Chamber Singers concert starts at 7 p.m. in LCCC's Surbrook Prentice Auditorium, and there's a 7 Chances Buster Keaton viewing at the Historic Atlas Theater at 7 p.m. This is also showing Sunday at 2 p.m. On Sunday, May 10th, there's a poetry open mic from 1 to 3 p.m. at Hawthorne Tree, and the monthly Cowgirls of the West luncheon at 11:30 a.m. at Little America. On Monday, May 11th, there's a Page Turner's Tween Book Club event at the library in the Stage Room. On Tuesday, May 12th, the Cheyenne Creativity Center is hosting a Drawn to Life 8-week course from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Cheyenne Creativity Center. This is week 1, and the event occurs every Tuesday. Then there's a Spring Craft Extravaganza event at the library from 5 to 6 p.m. in the library's Early Literacy Center, and the Cheyenne Genealogical and Historical Society annual banquet at LCCC in the Union Pacific Room. On Wednesday, May 13th, there's a Library for All event from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. in the library's Cottonwood Room, a Build-A-Feeder World Migratory Bird Day event from 4 to 5 p.m. at the Cheyenne Botanic Gardens in the Children's Village, and a Protecting Your Home from Wildfires event from 5:30 to 6:15 p.m. in the library's Cottonwood Room. Finally, on Thursday, May 14th, there's another Thankful Thursdays event at Blue FCU Foundation with doors opening at 4 p.m. to the Lincoln Way Event Hall, as well as a Tetra Pak printmaking event from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Cheyenne Creativity Center. There's also a community bingo event at 6 p.m. at Edgewood Sierra Hills. Also, there's an open jam night at 7 p.m. at the Lincoln Cheyenne, and another session at the Wyoming State Archives Speaker Series featuring John Shields on Cheyenne's landmark history at 7 p.m. in the Wyoming State Museum classroom or online. For the full list of events, go to wyomingnews.com/calendar.
In the headlines this week, after nearly 2 decades of no cost of living adjustments, commonly referred to as COLA, lawmakers are considering a change for Wyoming's public retirees. The Joint Appropriations Committee met Friday to discuss the issue. Currently, the state's pension investment performance is doing well, but thousands of retirees have seen their purchasing power erode by 18 years of stagnant benefits, according to testimony. Also, over the 2-day meeting of the Joint Transportation, Highways, and Military Affairs Committee, lawmakers heard testimony on potential ways to find a balance between supporting state infrastructure and conservative stewardship of state funds in order to address a potential $500 million annual funding gap for the Wyoming Department of Transportation. The department's director, Darren Westby, confirmed that the agency is facing a total unfunded need of approximately $500 million annually, with $300 million of that deficit specifically being for road construction. He stated that for the last 15 years, the agency has been forced into a preservation-only mode, tabling capacity-expanding projects like passing lanes and parking areas, largely due to budget constraints. And city officials are getting ready to solidify the fiscal year 2027 budget for Cheyenne, which Mayor Patrick Collins said focuses on strengthening city departments by hiring new employees and making sure current employees are properly compensated. Collins and City Treasurer Robin Lockman presented an overview of the proposed budget to Cheyenne City Council members at a work session Wednesday. This session is the first of many as all department heads prepare to present their proposed budgets in the coming days. Thank you for tuning in to Wyoming Watch. Tune in next week for more local news.